We've been partners with Kenneth Copeland since 1995 in a formal setting, personally since '82. And we have outreach, for example, to the prisons here in Toronto. Kenneth Copeland is supplying us with all the materials to bring in there free. And so they've been right behind us on that.
There's this spiritual connection too, is, you know, the Copelands, they pray for their partners.
That's right.
Right? So that will make a difference.
That commitment to prayer was a big thing for us. When they say they're going to pray for you, they mean they're going to actually pray for you. And you hear that as a cliche, I'll pray for you, brother.
And
we needed to know that there was someone actually praying for us, because there were things going on in here that we needed people to join with us in prayer. Even though I may be one in a million, I think.
I mean, even though he doesn't know me.
He doesn't know me.
Personally.
There's an element that he's connecting with me on before the Father. And I think God honors that.
Yeah.
He honors him for it, and he honors me for it. We were looking for a property. I just assigned someone, would you go look for properties? And she's a police officer in our congregation. And so we sent her out, she knew the area, and found this property.
When we first came to this neighborhood, just driving down the street,
sort of depressed.
It was oppressive. It was darkness really abound in this area.
And so we had people that would come by and just say, well, you sure you want to buy that property? You know, it was, it's in a tough neighborhood. The street was just littered with strip joints. I mean, there was about
There had been shootings in the area.
Shootings, was there 6 or 7 strip joints on it? And it had gotten this name, Rex Jail. They just kept raiding these places.
The word that came to us, though, when we came and stepped on this property, when we came to see the property, we knew that this was where God wanted us. This would be a lighthouse. That this church, this place would be a lighthouse where people could come in, be refreshed, come into contact with the presence of God and the glory of God, and that would change their lives. And that's exactly what this place has become.
We started having services in the building. There are probably now more churches on this street than anything else. There's still businesses, thriving businesses. God has blessed us in this city.
Toronto is a multicultural city.
We're in a city that we have 150 ethnic groups, people's group, ethnos. And the 150, that means we don't even have to leave our city. The mission field is coming to us.
What we believe is that God is bringing people from all over the world into Canada, and that's one of the reasons for Ambassadors for Christ.
It's a Bible school that we started.
The purpose of it is to prepare ambassadors for Christ to go into their world.
That's right, the harvest field.
Because the most efficient people to reach a people group is their own people.
And God has really honored us because he's opened up so many doors. We worked for 7 years in Egypt before they had the riots, and we were able to go in there on a consistent basis. Through this whole episode of us going 7 years into Egypt, one of the pastors that was instrumental in allowing us to connect with many of the churches that were really denominational churches, but they hadn't heard the gospel preached in so many years, they opened their doors wide. That pastor there eventually got a reputation. His church grew from 70, 80 people to about 1,800. And of course, the authorities found out, and then he was sort of blacklisted. And eventually, he had to leave the country. And he's now living in Canada, and he's actually giving us solid steps. We're working with him on how to really instruct
And minister.
The students that we're working with, individuals, believers, on how to reach Muslims.
Because he knows the Quran, because he grew up in Egypt, so he had to learn the Quran, right? And so he's able, see, again, knowing what you're saying, not just, oh, I heard somebody say that the Quran is bad. No, actually being able to turn to their scriptures and say, okay, this is violated, right? And knowing what the Quran says about Jesus, because it does speak about Jesus. Knowing what the Quran says about the Word of God, because it does speak about the Word of God. And so the course that we have at ACBS right now is training these students, our students, how to be able to witness to a Muslim using the Quran, right? And bringing in the gospel. Teachers are people that inspire, that know how to put into other people's lives the crucial tools for them to be successful. That's what teachers are.
If you think of Brother Copeland himself, he's a unique
He's very
communicator.
Unique. Yes, very.
So when we saw him for the first time, we thought, okay, this is a little different. I mean, he's very bold. He's there. He's
tenacious.
You believe it this way, or you're on your own.
Yeah.
And so we took that at face value, and we started immediately reading his material, and we realized that here's a gentleman that believes the word would work.
And it has.
And it has worked. And it's worked for him, and it's worked for us.